The meeting room in Sterling and Associates became quiet following my brother. Marcus's proclamation. 11 rentals, properties in desirable Florida locations, Tampa, Orlando, and Miami Beach. Combined. The value is roughly $4.2 million. And Marcus said they were all his. My mother said, "This is only fair." She placed her hand on Marcus's shoulder. He has been managing these properties. Since Grandpa passed, he has earned this. My father nodded, appearing uneasy, but resigned. "Tegan, you understand. Marcus has always been responsible. My aunt is the business-minded one." Rebecca smirked from across the mahogany table. "What would you even do with? Tegan, do you work at any rental properties? Some government office is doing paperwork." I kept my face neutral and my hands folded peacefully into my lap. 5 years. I held this hidden for 5 years, observing, documenting, and waiting for just this moment. "Well," Marcus leans back in, his leather recliner, arms crossed. "Nothing to say? No tantrum? Good. Perhaps you are finally growing up and accepting reality." I looked at my father, really looked at him. He was 73 now and grayer. Compared to what I recalled, he had always chosen Marcus. Always. The golden child, who could do nothing wrong. "Dad," I said, gently, "you truly don't know, do you?" His fork, we'd been eating lunch before this unexpected encounter, clattered, "Come to the table." His face vanished entirely. White. Marcus moved forward in his chair. "Know what?" I asked, smiling. "Everything." Growing up, I was constantly neglected. Daughter. Marcus was 3 years older. The son is charming and confident, would carry forth the family legacy. I was shy, scholarly, and too sensitive, according to my mother. When I was 16, Grandpa Frank took me aside at Thanksgiving. "Tegan," he explained, "you remind me of I was your age, and everyone underestimating you because you don't make noise." Grandpa Frank had created his build a real estate empire from nothing. Beginning in 1967 with a single duplex, Tampa, he had spent 40 years acquiring properties, renovate them, and build passive income. By the time I was born, he had 17 rental apartments around Florida. "Your father does not have the stomach for this industry," Grandpa informed me. On one of our Saturday mornings, breakfast gatherings are a tradition I started when I was 14. And Marcus? Marcus believes money should come easily, does not grasp the job. However, he witnessed something in me, the way I asked, questions concerning property prices and the market trends, tenant screening, how I actually listened when he discussed the cap, rates and cash-on-cash returns. When I reached 18, my grandfather made me an offer. "I'll pay for your college entirely, any school and any degree, but I desire you to double major in business administration and real estate financing, and this summer, you work with me and study this is real business." I accepted quickly. My family scarcely Marcus was at Yale studying economics, my pride and delight. I went to University of Florida, a state school. My mother spoke with a thin veil. I was disappointed and worked my tail off. During the summers, I learned all about property, management, maintenance coordination, tenant relations, legal compliance, grandfather. Frank did not do a financial study. He merely taught me, tested me, and gave me analyzing characteristics and making judgments, create challenges to solve. "You're a natural," he informed me when I recognized a tax benefit he had lost up on property purchase. "Better than any, but I have never hired a property manager before." Remained silent. Let my relatives believe I was just helping Grandpa with light office. Marcus worked while interning at prestigious investment banks. After college, I obtained a job at the Department for Housing and Urban Development. Government job is steady and monotonous, unimpressive. At the very least, that is the family thought. They didn't know I was in the Office of Policy Development and researching and working on the housing market analysis, learning about federal housing policy from the inside. Still pushing, Papers for the government? Marcus would. For example, during family dinners or at work. Private equity firm in New York. When will you obtain a real job? I would smile and say nothing. In 2019, Grandpa Frank's health began to decline. He was at 86. His mind was as keen as it had always been, but his body was failing. He called me to his residence in February. Tegan, he stated, I am going to be around for a long time, and I made a decision. He slid a folder across his kitchen table. Inside were quick claim deeds for 11 properties. Every rental property is still in his portfolio. He had sold 6 in the previous years, but these 11 were the royal jewels. I am transferring these to you, effective instantly. They're yours for free, straightforward. No difficulties with inheritance taxes, no probate, no fighting, just you. I glanced at the documents and my hands shaking. Grandpa, this is worth about $3.8 million total at current market prices. He ended with value. Generating around $18,400, monthly rental income after costs. I've been watching you for 10 years, Tegan. You understand the business. Respect it. You will safeguard it. What about Dad? Marcus. His look hardened. Your father never wanted this. Responsibility. He made that plain 40 years ago. And Marcus. He shook his head. Marcus has been stealing from me. My stomach fell. What? I allowed him to take. I took over management 3 years ago and wanted to see what he'd do. He's been skimming. Receive rent in cash from certain tenants or pocketing it and reporting lower. I have documentation about occupancy rates. He stole around $127,000 over 3 years. I felt ill. I haven't challenged him because I wanted to see. I wonder how far he would go, Grandpa said. I wanted to see whether he'd come clean. He hasn't. Therefore, this is what's going to happen. You're going to take ownership. Marcus doesn't require these features. Let him continue handling them. Continue collecting your rent through the property management software. Document everything he does. One day, everything comes to light, and when it does, you'll be protected. We filed the deeds. That week, every single property transferred to me. Tegan Marie Caldwell. The only owner. County records are totally legitimate and absolutely binding. Grandpa Frank died 4 months later, in June 2019. At the funeral, Marcus played ideal for a heartbroken grandson. He taught me all about its business, he told mourners. He taught. You're nothing, I thought, and you stole. He was dying when I got this from him. For the following 5 years, I led a double life. I was boring my family and the government. Employee Tegan. Sensible sedan. Modest. Apartment. Seldom travel anyplace. Exciting. My mother would groan at my potential was wasted. Marcus would make jokes about my government pay. In truth, I was creating an empire. Those 11 properties earned a significant revenue. I retained Marcus as the nominal manager. I assumed he was managing them for the estate is pending distribution. I thought the estate had already been distributed. To me, I hired a forensic. Marcus's accountant will keep track of every dime. Touched. Each skimming payment, every falsified expenditure report, every tenant. He charged below the table. The evidence. The folder became fatter with each passing month. The eye optimized the characteristics. Ruthlessly. I have refinanced 3 of them. With lower interest rates, rising monthly cash flow increased by $2,100. I renovated 2 others and increased their rental value increased by 30%. I've sold 1. Property is a tiny duplex in a deteriorating region, costs $34,000. And used the profits to buy a 4-unit structure in a growing area Tampa area for $425,000. My portfolio expanded. By 2024, these 11 properties were now valued around $5.1 million, producing $2,300 monthly net income. But Marcus kept. Those in charge continued to steal. The forensic accountant's most recent report displayed $118,600. Over the course of 5 years, there has been verified theft. I succeeded in my work with HUD and was promoted twice. In 2023, I was a senior policy analyst, earning $112,000 annually. My relatives assumed that was my only income. They knew nothing about the $26,600 annual rental revenue is $89,000. I have $1.2 in my investing accounts, million in equity I'd built over my properties. By all accounts, I was a millionaire, a profitable real estate investor, financially independent. And my relatives believed I was uninteresting, government employee who never amounted to much. I witnessed Marcus purchase a $85,000 BMW, spend trips in Europe, and move into a luxurious apartment in Boca Raton. He was largely financed by money. Taking from me, real estate it's lucrative, he'd boast at family gatherings. Management costs alone are incredible. He wasn't earning management fees. He was committing embezzlement. My father would beam, pride. That is my son. He has always had a head for business. Mom would touch my hand, sympathetically. Do not feel horrible, Tegan. High school is not for everyone. Achievement. I would grin, nod, and tell nothing. My dearest buddy Jasmine was only one individual knew the truth. Can you stand it? She said after one especially terrible family dinner, where Marcus announced his tremendous achievement in real estate. Because I'm not hiding, he told her. I watch every dismissive remarks, insults, and assumption. It's all proof of who they truly are, and one day they will be going to face precisely what they have. That day arrived in November 2024. My father phoned me on Tuesday morning. Tegan, we should have Sterling has a family meeting on Saturday, an associate's law firm. It's time to settle Grandpa's estate. My heart began racing. His estate was settled 5 years ago. Not the properties, Dad. Marcus has been controlling the situation. However, they must be formally dispersed. We've all talked it. We think it is reasonable for Marcus to inherit them. He has done all the effort. Was quiet for a long time. Tegan, do you understand? This is just fair. I'll be there Saturday, I stated, quietly. After hanging up, I contacted my attorney, David Chen. They're making finally, David stated. I've had your documents ready for 3 years. Every deed and transfer record, every piece of evidence. Want me to attend? Not yet. Let me see how this plays out initially. I called the forensic accountant comes next. Final report. I need everything by Friday. Already done, she said. Total documented theft of $1,663.40. Over 5 years. Want me to hand deliver it? Please. I did something I hadn't done in 5 years. I phoned my dad back. Dad, one question. Did you know Grandpa transferred such properties before he died? There was a long hush. What are you? Discuss about? Never mind. See you. Saturday. He didn't know. Not one of them knew. It was going to be great. Saturday morning, I dressed carefully. Simple black pantsuit with little jewelry, professional, but modest. The same. I dressed for every family gathering. 5 years. I arrived at Sterling. Associates arrived 15 minutes early. The law. The company occupied the upper floor of downtown Tampa high-rise. Expensive. Marcus must have selected it for the optics. My mom, Dad, Marcus, and Rebecca and Uncle Tom were already inside. The meeting room. Marcus sat in the head of the table as if he owned it. Place. Tegan, Mom responded with amazement. You're early. Wouldn't miss this. I took a take a seat near the door. Marcus grinned. Good. Glad you're being adult about this. At precisely 10 o'clock a.m., I did not have a lawyer. Recognize the entries. Good morning, hello. My name is James Sterling. Marcus requested me to facilitate this family meeting to discuss the allocation of Frank Caldwell's rental properties. Thank you for coming, everyone. Marcus. He began rising as if presenting a presentation. As you know, I have been managing Grandpa's 11 rental homes. For the past 5 years, there has been a lot of work, but I've done it for love, respect for his heritage. My father nodded approvingly. The properties are valued almost $4.2 million. Marcus continued. They generate significant monthly revenue. And after I believe that considerable thought has gone into this, and I believe you can all agree that the important thing is that I inherit them. Marcus has earned it, Mom explained. Immediately. Aunt Rebecca nodded. He's been doing all the work. I sat down quietly observing. Any objections? Marcus glanced directly at me. I grinned. I have one inquiry first. If that's Marcus looked angry, but nodded. Sure. Dad, I addressed my father. Before we go any farther, I need to ask you something straight. Did Grandpa Frank, did he ever discuss his estate intentions with you? Specifically, about the qualities? Dad moved uneasily. He said he was handling it. Why? And have you ever checked the county? What happened to the property records when he died? Why should I? Marcus was handling everything. So you don't really know who owns these properties right now? It was not a question. Dad's face became pallid. That same phrase as the hook, the moment of dreadful revelation. Marcus shot forward. What are you talking about? About? They're part of Grandpa's. The estate is pending distribution, which explains why we're here. I took out my phone and I opened my email. Mr. Sterling, I regret for any misunderstanding. However, there is nothing to distribute. Do you mind pulling up the Hillsborough County property records? I can offer. The property addresses. James Sterling appeared perplexed, but he switched to his laptop. This is Marcus snapped. That's ridiculous. What are you doing? Dad, I replied again, peering into my father. You really don't know, do you? His fork, we'd been eating lunch before, the official conversation clattered to a china plate. His hands shook. Marcus yelled. To what? I asked, smiling. Who actually owns those 11 properties? You've been managing for 5 years? James Sterling's expression transformed when he pulled up. The county's records. This is rare. These properties are not in Frank Caldwell's name. They were moved. In February 2019. Transferred to who? Mom insisted. He rose up and headed to the TV. He pulls up the paperwork on his laptop. I exhibited them one by one. Property 1, 2847 Beach Boulevard in Tampa. Deed transferred on February 18, 2019. The owner is Tegan Marie Caldwell. Marcus's face became white. Property 2, 156 Sunset Drive in Orlando. Deed transferred on February 18, 2019. The owner is Tegan Marie Caldwell. This is impossible, Mom muttered. Property 3, 8934 Collins Avenue in Miami Beach. Deed transferred on February 18, 2019. The owner is Tegan Marie Caldwell. I kept going. All 11 properties, every single one. Wait, Dad murmured, his voice cracking. You've owned these homes for 5 years? Since 2 weeks prior, Grandpa. Died, I confirmed. He transferred them to me through quitclaim. The deed is completely legal and has been filed with counties have public records, therefore anybody might have checked. You are lying, Marcus remarked, but his voice cracked. This is some kind of scam. Would you want to view the original deeds? I took a folder from my bag. I have certified copies, or we can call the county clerk's office now. Alternatively, you can check the property tax records. I've been paying all property Taxes since 2019. James Sterling scrolled through paperwork and his professional demeanor. Cracking. These are legitimate, filed. Notarized and recorded appropriately, Ms. Caldwell has been the legal owner since February 2019. The room erupted. How could you keep? What is this secret? Mom yelled. Why didn't Grandpa tell? Us? Aunt Rebecca demanded. But I was. Marcus is being watched. His expression changed when he realized what was happening. The poor comprehension. Marcus, I said, quietly, do you know what this means? He could not talk. This indicates that for 5 years you haven't managed. You have been to Grandpa's properties, managing my properties as an employee, without a contract, without my explicit authorization. Dad said I should, and most significantly, I continued, taking out another folder. It signifies that each dollar you skimmed, every you pocketed, every rent money, you filed a fake expense report. This was not a steal from an estate. Direct embezzlement from me, the legal property owner. I opened the second folder, the forensic accountant's report. This is complete financial analysis of each transaction. Over the last 5 years, you've conducted Morrison and Associates, our licensed forensic accounting firm. I began reading. Unit 2847, E Beach Boulevard, March 2019. You collected $1,850. James Morrison, the renter, paid cash rent. You reported the apartment as unoccupied. I pocketed the money in April 2019. Tenant, same amount, May 2019. Stop, Marcus said quietly. Unit 156B, Sunset Drive. You charge the tenant Maria. Gonzalez incurs a $300 late fee that does not exist inside her lease. You kept the money, but never reported it. You did this twice over 2 years. Stop. Over 5 years, I responded in my voice, steady and frigid. You stole $1,863.40. This is from me. That is not an estimate. That's documented, proven, down to the dollar. I slid the report across the table. James Sterling says, every transaction is details may be found here. Dates, quantities, and techniques. Include copies of the actual lease. Agreements versus falsified reports. Marcus surrendered. Dad stared at Marcus, acted as if he had never seen him before. You stole from your sister? I didn't. No, Marcus shouted. I thought I was managing Grandpa's properties. This is entrapment. Entrapment requires law enforcement. Participation, I stated gently. This is merely documentation. You stole money. Did not belong to you. The fact that you did not know who you were stealing from doesn't really matter. Mom found her voice. Hi, Tegan. This is your brother. Surely can we work this out as a family? No, I simply stated. What do you mean by no? I mean, I am not interested in working. This is out. Marcus committed virtually $2,000 in criminal theft over 5 years. Consistently, deliberately. I turned James Sterling. Mr. Sterling, I assume. Attorney-client privilege does not apply. I am here because I am not genuinely yours. Client. He seemed uneasy. That's right. Good. So you're a witness to this discourse. I pulled. Take out a third folder. This is a formal complaint I'm filing with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. Detailed documentation of felony grand theft, embezzlement, and fraud. Marcus lunged across the table. You can't do this. Me. Uncle Tom grabbed him and pulled him back. I'm not doing anything to you, I said. I'm only reporting crimes that you committed against me. Why? Dad questioned, and he looked truly devastated. Why did you wait? What happened? I stared at him. Look at him. Because, Dad, I had to know. I needed to see whether Marcus would arrive. Clean. If any of you would question, if anybody would check the public record, ask simple inquiries, or treat, I feel like I might be competent. I went on. 5 years. 5 years of Marcus boasted throughout family dinners. on his real estate success using my properties. 5 years of you saying I squandered my potential after 5 years with my mother, sighing about my little government job, while I was creating a multi-million-dollar portfolio. 5 years of observing. You chose him, Tegan, always. Mom muttered, "We didn't know." I did not ask, I corrected. Not once did, if you have any questions concerning my life, real curiosity. You assumed. Fired. You determined that I was the failure. Marcus was successful, and you never questioned it. Aunt Rebecca remarked. Her voice sounded harsh. So, this is revenge. You're going to destroy your brother over injured feelings? No, I said. I'm going to report crimes that were committed. This is not vengeance. That is justice. And honestly, if Marcus had ceased stealing even once in 5 years, this would be different. But he worsened the situation last month, pocketed $8,200 in a single week. I took out another document. This is notice of termination of property management services. Marcus, you've been dismissed, effective immediately. You have 48 hours to turn over all keys, paperwork, and tenants' contact information. And what if I don't? He hissed. Then I add blockage and conversion of property of my complaint. James Sterling cleared his throat. Ms. Caldwell, I should say I cannot represent you in this situation, as Marcus contacted me first, but you should know that your documentation appears extremely thorough. If these allegations are accurate, this is indeed serious criminal behavior. They're accurate, I said. Every word. I stood up, gathering my folders. I'm going to leave now. I have a meeting with my actual attorney this afternoon to file the formal complaint. Marcus, you should probably hire a lawyer, a good one. Tegan, please, Dad said, standing. He's your brother. No, Dad, he's your son. There's a difference. Brothers don't steal from each other for 5 years. Brothers don't let you believe you're a failure while they profit from your success. I walked to the door and paused. One more thing. Those properties, they're worth $5.1 million now, not $4.2 million. Because over 5 years, I refinanced them, renovated them, and acquired one additional unit. That's what actual real estate management looks like. I generate $2,300 in net monthly income from those properties. That's $2,600 annually on top of my $112,000 government salary. I'm not a failure, Dad. I'm a millionaire. I've been one for 3 years. You just never bothered to notice. Mom started crying. Real tears. Goodbye, I said. I'm sure we'll see each other in court. As I reached for the door handle, Marcus shouted one last time. You're going to regret this. I'll fight you on everything. I'll prove you set me up. I turned back. Marcus, please fight me. Because here's what discovery will reveal. Grandpa Frank knew you were stealing from him before he died. He documented it. He left me a letter explaining exactly why he chose me and not you. It's in a safe deposit box along with his personal journals detailing every conversation he tried to have with you about integrity and business ethics. You want to fight this in court? We'll bring all of that in. Every family dinner where you lied about your success. Every tenant who will testify you collected cash under the table. Every fake expense report with your signature. Or, I said quietly, you can accept that you got caught, that actions have consequences, and that maybe, just maybe, the person you dismissed as worthless was paying attention all along. I opened the door. Tegan, Dad called out. I stopped, but didn't turn around. Did he really know? Did Grandpa really know Marcus was stealing? Yes, I said. He gave Marcus 3 years to come clean. He never did. So Grandpa protected what he'd built. He gave it to someone who would respect it. Why didn't he tell me? I finally turned around. He did, Dad. He tried to tell you for 40 years that Marcus wasn't ready, that he didn't have the character for this business. But you never listened to him either. You only heard what you wanted to hear, just like you've only seen what you wanted to see. The successful son, the disappointing daughter. You built that story so completely that you never questioned it, even when the evidence was public record. I walked out. Behind me, I heard Marcus start screaming again, heard Mom sobbing, heard Aunt Rebecca's sharp voice demanding explanations. But I kept walking. Within 48 hours, everything collapsed for Marcus. Monday morning, I filed the formal complaint with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. By Tuesday afternoon, 2 detectives showed up at Marcus's luxury apartment. He called me screaming. "They're treating me like a criminal." "You are a criminal," I said calmly. "You stole $1963.40. That's multiple counts of felony grand theft. I'll pay it back. I'll pay double. Just drop the complaint." "That's not how this works, Marcus. You can't just pay your way out of felony charges." Wednesday, the story hit local real estate industry newsletters. Property manager accused of massive embezzlement scheme. Marcus's name was public. His employer, the private equity firm, put him on immediate administrative leave. By Friday, he was terminated. His landlord called him about the lease on his luxury apartment. Turns out expensive places don't like tenants under criminal investigation. Mom called me Thursday night crying. "Please, Tegan, he's your brother. He made mistakes, but he's family." "He made $1963.40 worth of mistakes," I corrected. "Over 5 years. That's not a mistake, Mom. That's a pattern of deliberate criminal behavior. We'll pay you back. Every penny." "With what money?" I asked. "Your retirement accounts? Dad's pension? That wouldn't even cover half of what Marcus stole, and it still wouldn't erase the crimes. You're destroying your family over money." "No," I said. "Marcus destroyed this family when he chose to steal from his dying grandfather and then from his sister. I'm just refusing to be silent about it anymore." She hung up on me. Dad tried a different approach. He showed up at my apartment Saturday morning. "Tegan, I need you to understand something," he said, looking older than I'd ever seen him. "I failed you. I see that now. I chose Marcus over and over, and I was wrong." I said nothing. "Your grandfather tried to tell me. He said you had something Marcus never would, integrity, real understanding. I thought he was just being sentimental. He was being accurate," I said. "I'm asking you, not for Marcus but for me. Is there any way to make this right?" I considered his question. "Dad, Marcus stole money for 5 years. He bragged about his success using my properties. He called me a failure while profiting from my assets. And not once did he feel guilty enough to stop. Even now, he's not sorry he did it. He's sorry he got caught." "What do you want me to say?" "I want you to understand that this isn't about revenge or hurt feelings. It's about consequences. Marcus committed crimes, serious crimes. And if I drop the complaint, what does that teach him? That he can do whatever he wants as long as he's caught? That family means no accountability." Dad closed his eyes. "No. For 5 years, you all treated me like I was less than, like I was the family disappointment. And you know what? I proved you wrong every single day. I built wealth. I built success. I did it quietly, strategically, intelligently, and I did it while watching my brother steal from me and my parents celebrate him for it." "I'm sorry," Dad whispered. "I know you are. But sorry doesn't undo 5 years. Sorry doesn't give me back the family dinners where I was dismissed. Sorry doesn't erase Marcus's crimes. So there's nothing I can do?" "You can support Marcus through his legal consequences," I said. "You can finally hold him accountable. You can stop making excuses for him and let him face he created. That's what he actually needs." Dad left without another word. 6 months later, Marcus accepted a plea deal. 5 counts of felony grand theft, reduced from the original 14 counts. 3 years probation, $1963.40 in restitution, 200 hours community service, and a permanent criminal record. His legal career was over. His real estate aspirations were finished. His luxury lifestyle collapsed. He moved back in with my parents. I didn't attend the sentencing hearing. My attorney represented my interests. The judge ordered monthly restitution payments of $1,500 for the next 10 years, plus interest. The money doesn't matter anymore. I have plenty of money. What matters is that Marcus finally faced consequences. Real consequences. The kind that don't disappear because you're the golden child. My parents and I have limited contact now. Holiday cards, brief phone calls. We're polite, distant, careful. Mom asked me once if I'd ever forgive Marcus. Maybe, I told her. But forgiveness doesn't mean pretending it didn't happen. It doesn't mean giving him access to my life again. It just means I'm not carrying anger about it anymore. Are you angry? She asked. No, I said honestly. I'm just done. My real family, Jasmine, my mentors from HUD, the business partners I've developed over the years, they threw me a celebration dinner when the legal case closed. To Tegan, Jasmine toasted, who proved that quiet strength beats loud arrogance every single time. I've expanded my portfolio since then. 14 properties now, worth $6.3 million, generating over $3,000 in monthly income. I left HUD to manage my investments full-time. Last month, I received a LinkedIn message from Marcus. Just 2 sentences. You were right about everything. I'm sorry for who I was. I didn't respond. Some people think that makes me cold, unforgiving, harsh. But here's what they don't understand. I gave Marcus 5 years. 5 years to stop stealing. 5 years to come clean. 5 years to show character. He never did. I gave my parents countless opportunities to see me. Really see me. Not just their assumptions. They never did. I didn't destroy my family. I simply stopped protecting them from the consequences of their own choices. 3 weeks ago, I received a handwritten letter from my father. No return address, just forwarded through my attorney. Tegan, it read. I've been thinking about what you said, about really seeing you. I went back and checked some things. Your college transcripts. You graduated summa laude. I never even asked. Your HUD promotions. You were being recruited by private firms the whole time and chose to stay. I never knew. The properties. I pulled the county records finally. You didn't just maintain them. You improved them, optimized them, built something real. I'm ashamed that it took a criminal investigation for me to see my own daughter. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't deserve it. But I want you to know I see you now, and I'm in awe of what you've built. Not just the properties or the wealth, your integrity, your strength, your ability to stay true to yourself even when everyone around you told you that you were less than. Your grandfather was right about you, about everything. I'm just sorry I couldn't see it while he was alive to know I finally understood. You don't have to respond to this. I just needed you to know. I'm proud of you. I should have said it 1,000 times before. I'm saying it now. I'm proud of you, Tegan. I keep that letter in my desk drawer. I haven't responded to it. Maybe I will someday. Maybe I won't. But either way, I know this. I don't need his pride anymore. I don't need his approval or his recognition or his belief in me. Because I built something real. Not through being the loudest voice in the room or the most confident or the most celebrated. I built it through patience, strategy, integrity, and the quiet understanding that success isn't about proving yourself to people who refuse to see you. It's about building something so undeniable that even in their blindness, they eventually have to acknowledge it exists. At the inheritance meeting, my brother claimed all 11 properties. He screamed, "Know what?" Now he knows. The whole family knows. I wasn't hiding my success. I was protecting it. And in the end, that protection was the smartest investment I ever made.